We know you probably grew up watching Disney movies and singing all of the songs, but some Disney songs are super dark. Stay tuned to see which songs are actually pretty racist. New around here? Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to The Things for more great content. Now on to 10 dark secrets about Disney songs they don't want you to know. Can you feel the love tonight? Let's start this list off on a somewhat innocent note. Simba and Nala meet again after years of separation, which turns into possibly the most romantic story in Disney history.
Nala?
Can You Feel the Love Tonight at first listen just sounds like a soft ballad, but pay attention to the song paired with the video and it'll have a whole new meaning. They are consenting adults that have known each other since they were kids. But still, it's a little weird to think of your favorite Disney characters in a mature way. We aren't mad at Nala, we are actually impressed. She gave Simba flirty eyes to let him know they were not children anymore. Whatever the case may be, both Nala and Simba were ready to risk it all. Whoever edited this scene knew what they were suggesting. Simba later met with Nala again, and even Timon and Pumbaa expect the trio to be a thing of the past. Timon even said he'll fall in love tonight. And what else could that even mean, besides Simba losing his V card? This is an actual inappropriate scene, people. Her paws are literally in the air. We are just the messenger. I don't even think you have to be an adult to catch this blatant flirty energy. You probably realized when you were 5 that something was different with that love scene. The movie should have probably rated it PG. A Whole New World. Another innuendo-driven romantic song from Disney that involves losing the virginity is A Whole New World. If you didn't catch the lyrics being about intercourse, maybe give it another listen and see how it suggests exploring new territory.
You don't want to go for a ride, do you?
This comes in at number 9, only because of Jasmine. Has she never heard of stranger danger? She didn't know this man and was ready to ride his magic carpet, and it didn't help that he ended up being a liar. But we guess all is fair in the name of love. Let's all just assume that the magic carpet is something else. If you read any reviews of the song, they all suggest that the magic carpet is actually a metaphor for something else. When Jasmine hesitates to get on the carpet with Aladdin, he responds by asking if she trusts him, which is a typical boy line. He then boasts about showing her a whole new world if she lets him, a world he doesn't even know. So the blind leading the blind. Consider these quotes: don't you dare close your eyes, indescribable feelings, hold your breath, it gets better, every moment gets better. This is clearly implying that Aladdin was leading her into uncharted territory. Katrina. Now we had to reach a little ways back for this one, all the way back to 1947 to critique this song in The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. This old reference that proves that Disney songs have been dirty since pretty much the beginning of time. Is it a more modern term? Yes, but certainly not a new concept. Katrina is a song by Bing Crosby that is very well arranged with a message to the young girls watching this Disney film. It takes a while to get to these lyrics because they are toward the end, but when you get there, you'll hear him say, but Katrina will kiss and run. To her, romance is fun, with always another one to start. Yikes. Some would say this song was actually discouraging promiscuity. Katrina was always bopping to the next guy to kiss, which obviously in the 40s was something that was looked down upon. But honestly, what's wrong with weighing your options? To us, it honestly seems like the smart thing to do. It's kind of like the 40s version of Drake's Hotline Bling. Another man crying about the way a woman lives her life without him. Not like Crosby was a saint anyway. A girl worth fighting for. Mulan is thought of as one of the most powerful Disney female characters in a film. That does not exempt the film from having some ill-conceived notions about which women are considered desirable.
Too skinny.
A few of the songs on this album reeked of sexism and colorism, including A Girl Worth Fighting For. At first listen, the song can be a cute, comedic, and romantic war song. As the song continues, you hear the men describe what traits the women need to have in order for the soldiers to fight for them. Let's dissect. I want her paler than the moon. Excuse us, sir, but your colorism is showing. But I guess everyone has a preference, right? Wrong. And fetishizing paleness is just weird. It all depends on what she cooks like. Is another line in the song that further reinforces that women belong in the kitchen narrative. In the song, Mulan offers some progressive traits to see how the men feel about the strong, smart woman. What about a girl who's got a brain, who always speaks her mind, but the men definitely weren't feeling it? Why are men like this? Could they be any more patronizing? Now we know that cultures rely heavily on tradition, but seeing how men view women can do some harm to both boys and girls. If girls start to believe that they are able to do what men can do, and then watch this film and have men only classify them as desirable if they can cook, then young girls are going to be very confused. And is it so bad for a man to have a woman who can speak for herself? I'll make a man out of you. Let's just keep Mulan in the conversation, shall we? The next problematic song stems from the infamous classic I'll Make a Man Out of You, which without context could definitely go for a song about a boy coming of age in a pretty inappropriate way. But for these purposes, we'll just examine how the lyrics assume a woman cannot be as tough as a man without special training from a man in Mulan's case. This is a direct form of hyper-masculinity for both Mulan and for the men in training as well. The reason for them even being in training is so they can toughen up, comparing their beginning weak stages to those of a woman. Let's get into these lyrics for a better understanding. Did they send me daughters when I asked for sons? You're the saddest bunch I've ever met. The song is just not okay. It depicts girls as weak and undesirable when it comes time to fighting. It sends the message that in order to be a soldier, just don't be a girl, and we can shape you up to be strong and tough.
I knew there was something wrong with you. A woman!
Luckily, this narrative changes when Mulan ends up saving China, but the song is honestly too catchy to have this demeaning message attached to it. Girls can be strong, and for God's sake, boys can be sensitive. Mother knows best. Now we get to the song Mother Knows Best. In most cases, this is very true, but in Rapunzel's case, not so much. Her mother locks her in a tower and refuses to let her see the outside world.
Don't ever ask to leave this tower again.
Rapunzel and her mother did not have a healthy relationship, obviously, but for this to be an up-tempo song about your mother being abusive and you being appreciative would not be a good look. There are actually children with abusive mothers, Disney. Who knows what watching this movie could do to them? This song also shows some of the abusive tactics parents, mainly mothers, will go to in order to be in control. Don't forget it, you'll regret it. Mother knows best. What exactly would she regret? Thinking for herself? This is a scare tactic that is not always beneficial. Getting kinda chubby? I'm just saying cause I love you is another line that is so rude it's ridiculous. It's also insane to have someone locked up indoors all day long, but no one really mentions that. We know that Disney is a fan favorite of most people, but how did no one object to this storyline? This is sensationalized abuse, and yet we watch it every time we turn Tangled on. It's got to stop somewhere. Under the Sea. Are you ready to dabble in a little racism? Let's start with the Little Mermaid's Under the Sea. Sebastian's awful take on a Jamaican accent could honestly stand alone.
Here is your home.
But that's not why we're here today. We are here to focus on the blackfish. Are there blackfish under the sea? Of course. This fish, in particular, resembles a certain kind of face that should never be in any movie, but especially not one for kids. The fish is an underwater version of a blackface caricature. Sebastian sings, "The blackfish is in," as he belts out a strong sound. And if you think we're being overly sensitive, there's actually a petition to get the blackfish out of the film. Might we add that Sebastian also says, on land they work all day. Why would he want to do that when he can stay under the sea and do nothing but float? Hinting at the lazy stereotype attached to black people. It's just kind of gross that Disney would put something like that in a film. And what's even more annoying is that parents didn't say anything. When I see an elephant fly. Let's just start this off by noticing the black crows singing in broken English while smoking. Jive talking if you will. I'd be done seeing about everything when I see an elephant fly. That's offensive, Disney, but this is not even the worst part. The main crow goes by Jim Crow, named ironically after the racial segregation laws. Why would Disney name a bird after such horrible laws? And why did no one say anything? Doesn't that strike you as weird? And that's not the worst part. Get ready for this. The actors that voice these beloved characters are all white, talking and singing in their best black interpretation. You heard that right. The classic film Dumbo turns out to just be one big minstrel show. For those of you who don't know, because African American history was not a required course in your school, a minstrel show is a form of entertainment featuring song and dance by white actors in blackface. Dumbo fans will defend the classic portraying racial stereotypes by saying the crows were nice and the only ones who helped Dumbo. But it doesn't change the fact that the depiction of the crows in itself is just distasteful. What Makes the Red Man Red? The song What Makes the Red Man Red is a prime example of an inappropriate song. The Peter Pan film came out in the 50s, a time where it was not awful for a fat kid in a bear costume to ask these kinds of questions.
makes the red man red?
Not only did Disney have this question asked in the film, but there is a whole musical number about it. What answer do they give to these children, you ask? The red man is red because a girl made the Native American prince blush after he kissed her. This could not be more innocent and far from the truth. Like everything else in this world, Peter Pan's depiction of Native Americans is not correct at all. Disney has made this film to portray Indians through the eyes of a kid. It is not innocent or cute to falsely depict the way Native Americans were treated in earlier times. The main characters also refer to Indians as Pickaninny Indians. Yes, this is offensive. Lastly, let's address the fact that the native language of the Indians in the movie is reduced to gibberish. Peter Pan is a film that glorifies the stereotypes of Indians, making them caricatures in the film. It's really sad that this movie was so popular when it came out. Zippity-doo-dah. Our last Disney song with a pretty dark message comes from a film that has been locked away in the Disney vault and will never be re-released. That alone is what secured it the #1 spot. The fact that Song of the South lays claim to one of the most notable songs in Disney history is a real shame when you think of it in its correct context. The movie is about a young boy who goes to live in the South following his parents' separation. This is where he meets Uncle Remus.
How'd you like old Uncle Remus to go along with you?
And all you need to know about him is that he is a happy slave. The song embellishes the life he lives as a slave, sending a message out that slavery is not as bad as history makes it seem. While this idea of slavery was widely accepted when the movie came out, the majority of America's views have changed. Our thinking is more modern. At the time when the film was created, these ideals probably aligned with the creators, and Disney doesn't need that kind of representation attached to their name anymore, which is why it will never be released again. But then again, that's probably for the best. That's it for 10 dark secrets about Disney songs they don't want you to know. Were you surprised by some of the things on this list? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.